So I'm so excited to be talking to you about making bold moves today, because I know you have got some bold moves that you have made for sure. So
Yes,
I want to start first of all with, and are you in Austin now?
I am officially as of like 3 days ago.
Oh my
It's
gosh.
happening. Yeah,
Okay.
thank
It's
you. Thank
happening.
you. Yes.
Oh, I
Yes,
love
it's
it.
been very exciting.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm so
Yeah.
happy that you're here and looking forward
Yeah.
to talking about your journey, how you made some of these bold moves, and particularly the most recent one that you've made.
Right.
And so I thought, why don't we start with you telling us a little bit about you, and we'll go from there.
Thank you. Well, I am a Texas girl at heart. I'm from North Texas, though, so Austin is very new. This is a huge move for me. But I have been in Los Angeles for the last 12, almost 13 years as a design consultant. I first went out as a stylist and moved into design. And in the last 8 years, I've worked independently, consulting with different brands on the creative process, how to get brands to market, and I continue to do so. I have amazing manufacturing partners in Los Angeles that still work with me while I'm moving to Austin. But yeah, the huge move was to do a barbecue company with my family, really with my dad. He's the chef. And
So cool.
yeah, I take it very seriously, obviously, because I'm making the move and doing it.
Yes, you are. And to go from LA to Austin, it just still blows me away. Can you tell us a little bit about how you made that decision?
Yes, I mean, well, over the pandemic is when I realized that my dad had the supply chain dialed for this project. And so over the pandemic, we worked on it. We launched it almost 5 months ago, and it's been going very well. And I work with a lot of CEOs, a lot of founders, entrepreneurs, and having my own company as an entrepreneur, I know the amount of time and heart that's needed for a successful brand, for a successful company. And so it was just a no-brainer. Like, I need to be here. I'm very serious about it. So I just took the leap, and I didn't think about it too much. Maybe I did, but in a short amount of time. Yeah.
Well, that's another thing that I wanted to say, and welcome everybody that has joined. Great to see you all. Tell us a little bit about how, like, I mean, for a lot of us, that would be, I mean, I'm sure it's huge for you too, but we wouldn't have had the courage to do it, or we might have doubted ourselves too much. So how did you get the courage? And especially for those listening, what advice would you have for that?
I mean, a lot of it was my family. I mean, I'm an only child. My dad has had great businesses all in food. I'd never participated, and I came to him and said, I want to do this with you. And he means the world to me, and he's such a hard working person. So I see the heart that he puts into his work. So I just had to like swallow any of that fear and be like, okay, no, this is how it's done. And not that it's easy, but I think so I'm mentioning my dad, but it's also just who you surround yourself with, that network, those people that you keep close, that those people help you with the courage and the influence to do that.
That's for sure. What has been one of the most powerful lessons that you have learned, especially in your field?
In my field? Okay, so my field is fashion, but I'm a product person. So barbecue, doing a line of barbecue rubs isn't too far off for me as far as product goes.
Okay.
So, oh my God, I forgot your question already.
Oh, that's okay.
Focusing on what I've done.
That's okay. So now I'm going, what was my question? Well, most powerful lesson, or what did I say? Something about, I'm
Powerful
really curious.
lesson.
Yeah, just in general.
Okay. So in producing work, you realize there's so many variables to get it right. That means there's so many people, even if you have a small team and you're all wearing like multiple hats, just knowing that it takes a team. You can't do it alone. And so
Mm-hmm.
having those connections, those relationships, I have a lot of people that I've worked with for 5, 10, 15 years, because you got to keep those good ones close and maintain those relationships.
Yeah.
So that's my number one, is relationships.
Well, I also want to say how good you are at building those relationships, because we met at that dinner when we were both,
Yes.
there for CMTA, and
Yeah.
how it was effortless to talk with you, and you
Thank
were
you.
so kind to stay later when I sat there and ate my dessert.
Oh, happily. Thank you. I feel the same
Well,
way. I was so happy that I was like sitting right next to you. I met the right
uh,
person with the best energy. It was wonderful. Yeah.
thank you. Well,
Yeah.
it speaks so much to what you just said about the power of relationships, and there is
Mm-hmm.
something so much to be said about people feeling safe with a person, feeling comfortable, feeling that they're being heard. And
Yeah.
I'm actually really curious, thinking about your career or even your personal life. Where would you say that you felt like, for those people that are challenged with building relationships, how what's something that you recommend that somebody do to get better at that?
I think it's all about like making people feel comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you always want to walk away
Yeah.
with, is how you feel from that conversation and how you made them feel. So if you're unsure and you don't really know what to do, just ask a question. Ask a question about themselves, get to know them, um, and you'll learn a lot. And that might take some of the pressure of the talking back, and just listen. Just
That,
listen to what they may have to share.
that is such a great tangible tip. Ask a
Yeah.
question. And I love the fact that, like you said, when you don't know what to do, because sometimes it can be awkward when you're meeting somebody for the first time to know what to
Mm-hmm.
say, or yeah, how to deal with
Right.
that. And I love, and I would add to that, to pause long enough to listen as well. Because isn't it funny? Have you ever been to like some type of networking event and people ask questions, but then they immediately answer, or
Yes.
they listen for like a moment and then they bring it back and go, "Oh, that's exactly like my story," and they end up talking about themselves.
Right. Oh my goodness, that happens a lot. And
Yeah.
I that was a huge takeaway in me learning from you, is pause. That's something I have to repeat to myself, is just take a breath. You have to rush. And when you share that in your speech, in your topic, that's a huge like green light. Like, yeah, that's gotta remember that.
Oh, that's great. Well,
Yeah.
thank you. That's great to
Yes.
know. What do you think that you would offer advice to for someone who is doubting themselves, particularly a female? I mean, it could be any gender, but what advice would
Mhm.
you offer for them?
A couple things come to mind, like talking to yourself like a friend. And
Mm,
and
hmm.
even if it's just like the last 24 hours, and remind yourself, okay, you've done this, this, and this. And even if it's not a list of 10 things, you accomplish a couple things, I'm sure,
Hmm.
or you have something to be proud of that you've done. And just remember that, okay, I've done this, I can do it again, or
Mm,
I can move forward. But just talking to yourself as a friend. I mean, because sometimes you don't have a friend in the room, and
right.
you have
Uh,
to be your support system.
it's so true. Well, and what was it like for you when you were in, I mean, you've been in lots of rooms that are male dominated, and thinking about the women that
Mm-hmm.
are listening that are in, say, manufacturing or in
Mm-hmm.
fields like that, how do you maintain your stance, if you will, or your confidence in those situations? Any tips on that?
Oh, wow, yeah. I mean, because I've tried everything. I will tell you that. I
I
went
bet
into
you
this
have.
industry like guns blazing, super strong, not going to be taken down. And then through the years, you soften up, and then sometimes that stuff doesn't work. So, yeah, there's every situation is different. I think it applies like to a man as any room
Hmm.
does. And
Yeah.
you just have to, you know, do your best to prepare, but every day is a new day. And take those moments and pause and listen. And you don't have to answer right away.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
And even if you don't have an answer after that pause, that's a great question. I'm going to think about it. Do you mind if I get back to you after lunch?
Oh, that's good.
It's okay. You can maintain your schedule, kind of a thing, even if it is just in that conversation.
That's such a great example, of the owning your power component.
Right.
And remembering that you don't have to, like, somebody else doesn't get to dictate what you get to do or decide to do. We always have the power of self-agency.
Yes, very, very true. That was a great question too. It helps me even.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I like it.
I'm glad. Well, what else do you want to share about your story? We've got a few more minutes here. I'd love to know anything else that you want to share with the room.
Well, I know your topic is on confidence, so I've been just thinking a lot about it and what makes me, because I feel like I'm at a very good place in life. I feel pretty confident, feel pretty comfortable. We're always working on it. Yeah. But I think I've got like two thoughts that came into mind. One that's very internal, one that's external but still personal, and one is just time. It's taken time to get this to this place of like somewhat consistent confidence. I'm not like 100% all the time, but pretty confident. And it's just like digging in and learning the traits that make you, because it's so easy in this world, especially with social media, to look around and see what so-and-so is doing and what that person's doing. But when you're being hired for a job and whatever it is, or you're being asked to do something, or someone takes interest in you, they're taking interest in you. And so what are you bringing to the table that's different? Everybody has those unique qualities. So I think it's just tapping into that. That's what's helped me gain my confidence. But then also the second part is those vulnerable moments and sharing conversations with women, with people in the workplace, people that I love and trust. Yeah. And like, not that I need their validation, but usually people that you love and trust will share something back and will be encouraging. And those moments, those conversations are really what helped me like move forward and think like, okay, I can do this because I have that support and that love maybe. Yes.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, thank you.
Beautiful.
Thank you. Well, that's how I felt when I met you. I felt like you were an instant friend, and you made me feel so comfortable to share and to talk about.
I'm so glad.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, that makes me feel so good too.
Oh, good.
That's so great.
Well, I appreciate it.
To recap those two, you said I love this, learn the traits that make you. I'm taking notes. I'm loving everything you're saying. And tap into that. And then the second part of that was to take advantage of the vulnerable moments that you can share with people that you trust to support you. Exactly. Awesome. Yeah. Anything else? I like it. I love these. Oh my gosh, I don't know. I know. This has been fun. This has been really fun. I love it. I'm so glad. Well, let me ask you this. Yes. One other thing as we wrap up. What is something that you're most proud of? Oh, something that I'm most proud of? Well, part of me, the first thing that came to mind was my relationships. I'm very happy that I've been able to work with some of the factories and individuals that I have, photographers for years, for projects and on end. And, that takes work. And especially at this day and age, I'm the person to cold call. I will call you and ask you how your day is. I do not love text messages as much. For business, yes. But I love a good phone call. So that's so cool. I think my relationships. Yeah. Oh, I love it. Yeah, thanks. That's great. Well, and it's what I find interesting, the other day, how sometimes you're going back and forth with people on email, and I actually did a reel on this of pick up the phone sometimes. It's amazing what you can accomplish. And I remember a couple days ago thinking there were back and forths with this person, and I thought, I'm just going to take a chance to see if she happens to
Yeah.
be free. And she was there. I went, oh my
Awesome.
gosh.
Yeah.
So we solved a number of things in a 5-minute conversation that
Yeah.
otherwise was emails back and forth.
It works. It
Yeah,
works.
it sure
Yeah.
does. It sure does. Well,
Good.
Roxanne, thank you so much for coming.
Yes.
Where
Yes.
can people reach you? Where would you like people to reach out if they'd like to connect?
DM is fine. I
Okay,
don't have my email connected, but if you DM me a short thing, I can give you my email and we can take it from there. Pretty
sounds
easy.
great. And
Mhm.
what do you need right now?
Oh, what do I need? Oh, I love working and meeting new creatives because I'm always trying to produce different things, whether it's for Westero, the new barbecue line, and content there. But I love meeting new creative and people. Yeah,
Love it. Okay.
creatives. Yeah.
Okay, good. Well, everybody, you heard that. So DM Roxanne if you would like to
Yeah,
build that
thank you.
relationship. And Roxanne, it's always a pleasure to connect. I'm so
Thank
happy
you.
that you made the move and you followed your heart. And
Yes.
I wish you all the best. And I'll reconnect with you a little later because I'm
Wonderful.
gonna post this right after this. Yeah.
Okay, good. Thank you
All
so
right.
much. I appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Take
Okay,
care.
bye.
Bye bye.
Take care.